It was a pretty sweet ride for Tom Brady the few months after he was named Super Bowl 36 MVP. He did the Disney thing, was a judge at a beauty pageant, appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and was named one of People magazine's 50 most beautiful people. So when he sat down with me in May of 2002, I decided it was time to knock America's sweetheart off his high horse.
This is the draft report on you, and we condensed this a little bit. And basically it goes, Tom Brady, poor build. That might be accurate.
I would probably agree.
Skinny, lacks great physical stature and strength, and gets knocked down easily.
Well, that kind of gets me fired up because I'm thinking, what the hell do these people know? That sounds like Joe Montana right there. When people tell you, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this, and you keep overcoming that, you build this confidence in yourself and this belief in yourself that even when nobody else believes in you, that I'm still going to do it because I don't give a shit what you say, but I know what I can do, and I've done it.
Brady began doing it at California's Sarah High. The lanky catcher was drafted by the Montreal Expos, but he was intent on making a name for himself on the football field, which was easier than making a name for himself in his own household.
You had 3 sisters, right? Mm-hmm. So they all
the worst athlete in the family. All 3 of those girls are better athletes than I am.
Well, that must have been kind of tough.
I was always a little brother.
Well, how do you feel about your sisters playing baseball?
I don't care.
You're Maureen's brother, you're Julie's brother. And when I was a freshman in high school, I wrote an essay about what it's like to be a baby brother. And I was like, people always refer to me as a baby brother. So maybe one day, I want my sisters to be referred to as, that's Tommy's sister.
At Michigan, he was known as Brian Griese's backup, but ultimately, he won the starting job.
When you realized you were going to start at Michigan, you looked on the schedule, and you saw that you were going to play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Then what did you do?
Well, it was probably right around when Rudy came out. So I was touchdown Jesus, and this Notre Dame, this kind of aura of Notre Dame. And I'm thinking, I'd never been to the stadium. There was a wedding in Chicago that I was a part of. So on the way back from Chicago to Ann Arbor, I was like, I drive by and see signs for South Bend. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to just stop in. I'd love to see what it's like. So when I go down there and run on the field for the first time, it's not the first time I'm getting used to the environment. So I pull up. It's a Sunday afternoon. So I walk around. Sure enough, halfway around, there's a gate that's unlocked. No one's in the stadium. I don't see anyone. I don't hear anything. All I see is a bunch of no trespassing signs. I just kind of took it all in. I walked up in the top of the stands and kind of walked down, stood on our sideline, stood in the middle of the field real quick. I kind of ran across. And it was cool. Yeah. And so I'm walking back out to the gate that I walked in, and I guess someone had come into the stadium because they had unlocked the gate and then fastened the 2 sides of the gate together. So I'm thinking, I'm locked in the friggin' stadium. It's 6 o'clock at night. My car's sitting out there in some illegally parked zone. I'm thinking, I'm playing here in a month. I'm going to be on SportsCenter, breaking into the stadium.
Brady eventually escaped from Notre Dame Stadium and somehow found his way into NFL stadiums. And when Drew Bledsoe went down with an injury in 2001, the 199th player taken in the 2000 draft became a starter.
Talk to me about your favorites, because just talk to me about
under.
Love under, okay.
I like sticks.
Okay.
I like double seam. I like 10 seam.
You just want to throw so you can get on TV, huh?
Brady seemed perfectly at home in front of the camera. And like any good TV star, he quickly won over his audience.
And Foxborough loves Tom Brady.
New England began 2001 at 0-2, but Brady led the Patriots to an 11-5 record and an AFC East title.
When you look back at last season, all the great things that happened, if there was one moment that you could erase, purge from, let's say, our film vault, what would that be?
Okay, this is horrible. We played the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. It was probably, for me, the worst game of the year. I missed more open receivers than I've ever missed in my life. I don't know if you've ever been up to Buffalo, but there's a crown on the field. So in the middle of the field, you're throwing downhill. All my throws were high. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to reporters. He goes, you missed a lot of throws today. I was like, yeah, I never played on a crown on the field like that. Just making an excuse the next week. I got more From everybody on the team, my coach is saying, well, we're not playing on a crown this week. You think we can complete a few passes?
Brady went from complaining about a crown to doing everything he possibly could to win one.
Snap to Brady.
8 straight victories put the Patriots in the Super Bowl. One heroic drive cemented their place in history.
When you took the field for the final drive, Tom, reconstruct that for me.
Charlie came over, our offense coordinator, and he said, we're going to go for it. You know, we're going to go win this.
You're not going to play for the tie.
Right. It's just as I'm running on the field, Charlie kind of grabs me. He says, hey, you know, if there's a bad play, we can run out the clock. You know, just, you know, be careful with the ball. So I took about 3 more steps, and Drew was right behind me. He goes, hey. And he goes, that. He goes, go out there and sling it. Start running the huddle. You know, I started jumping around and, all right, guys, let's go win this thing.
All right, folks, button up your chin strap. Here we go.
Brady stands in the pocket, dumps it off to the left, complete to J.R. Redmond, 30, 35, to the 40, and a first down. Pulse-pounding finish to this one here.
Do you realize what was at stake, the magnitude of the event?
I had no idea the magnitude. No idea. I mean, it just feels like another 2-minute drill.
Fires down the field, caught. Troy Brown at the 40. Looks, fires over the middle, caught by Jermaine Wiggins down to the 30-yard line of St. Louis. The Patriots have to come up and snap the ball down here. 9 seconds left, throws the ball to the ground with 7 seconds left.
Adam runs on and kicks the game winner. It's almost like, okay, what's next? And then it all set in that, holy you know, we're Super Bowl champs.
We have a shot of you at the end of the game. I think you're in the podium, and your hands are like this.
And I was looking at my sisters, and I saw them sitting over there. I kind of looked like, can you believe this?
We are so proud of him!
And this is just unbelievable.
Who are some of the people that you've met since then?
Just heroes of mine. I mean, John Elway and Steve Young and Muhammad Ali. When you talk to all these people, you really realize, now I know why this guy's done what he's done, you know?
Why?
I could see why. There's a competitiveness, there's a spirit about him. John Elway makes people feel like that. And he made his teammates feel like that, and his coaches, that everyone was believed in him. And everyone was like, hey man, if I'm on your side, we're going to win. When you're around people like that, you just kind of feel like, you know, man, I'm sitting next to the man, you know? I mean, this is...
Well, that's the way I feel now.
Do you?
See, yeah, I'm sitting next to the man.
Way to go, 12! You're the man, baby. You are the man.
But I got a lot of years to catch up to those guys.
In his second year with the Patriots, he showed that, like his heroes, he possessed the strength to rebound from adversity, an unwavering confidence,
You're gonna get this one. Promise. I promise that.
and an intense passion for the game.
I'm a football player. Since I was 7, I was throwing the ball around, and that's what I wanted to be. I was at that game when Dwight Clark made the catch.
Really?
The reason why I think I'm successful is I think I love playing football.
That's it. That's it. That's awesome.
I think people see that. People say, hey man, Tom's having a hell of a time. Let's just hop on his back and we'll go with it. And I'm gonna have a hell of a time too doing it.
Are you afraid about peaking at this point? I mean, you think of Dan Marino, the second year, 48 touchdown passes, breaks all his records, goes to the Super Bowl, and then he never returns. Has that ever crossed your mind that, boy, I might never be back here again?
It's never crossed my mind. I don't think that ever will cross my mind. I had an equipment manager in college. I mean, he had been at Michigan for 25 years or so. He's got so many Big Ten rings. I mean, he doesn't have enough fingers for all the rings he's got. And he says, you know what? Whenever he says, you know what, Tom, you know what my favorite ring is? And I said, which one's that? He goes, the next one. And that's what I think, the next one. That's my favorite.